Okay, I think I have time for one video before my pizza gets here. So let's get this started. There are many aspects to video games that help sell the world the developers built. And today, I want to talk about 5 systems for Dragon's Dogma 2 that I think would drastically improve the immersion if they were to be added in the future. Some of these are no-brainers, but I think I have a few that you may not know you would even want. Especially one of them. It's seriously something that should have been in the game from the beginning. It's a no-brainer, but also something that never occurred to me. I'm going to have a bar in the top right indicating how likely it is to be added. I did this gimmick in my very first video ever, and I think it makes a lot of sense here as well. We're going to ease our way into the list with the most basic system, and that would be marriage. This is an extremely common RPG system that is actually surprising to see not be in the game. Unlike the first game, Dragon's Dogma 2 allows you to romance any character in the game. Except the dragon. I know, I was disappointed too. But being able to romance any character you wish opens up the door for marriage being added. Couple that with the Eternal Bond ring being in the game already, and I think this is a no-brainer system to add. Your spouse could make use of your home and could have side quests tied to them. Off the top of my head, I could think of a couple side quest ideas. 1. Gather food items to cook a meal together. This could be done at home or in the field, and they would accompany you, similar to an escort character. 2. Fight people who try to court your piece of ass. This one's self-explanatory. 3. Or a simple quest of preparing a wedding. That could be fun. But those are just my ideas for these. I know they're not perfect, but I'd expect Capcom to come up with much better ideas than me anyways. Wanted system. As it currently stands, there is no bounty or wanted system for your Risen or other characters. And I think that I could add a lot to the world by adding a system for it. Not only would it hold you accountable for your actions you undertake in the city, but others as well. Capcom could bring back a version of the bounty board specifically for wanted characters, especially bands of false Arisens, giving them a new purpose outside of their relevance to the story. I feel as though getting away with killing guards in this game is just a little bit too easy. Simply stop fighting and run far enough away and they forget you just murdered half their ranks. It leaves me wishing for some more excitement upon my return, but sadly, it's just life as usual. Gear infusing. Gear infusing is something I seriously wish was in the game already, as I love using weapons that are far weaker than the strongest options. I think in general having there be a quote-unquote best option for every weapon type in terms of power is a bad gameplay choice. RPG games thrive on variety, and the weapon system should be no exception. With gear infusing, you can take any weapon previously acquired and gift those stats to the new weapon. This wouldn't transfer debilitations or elements though. This would allow you to use any weapon you want without sacrificing your slaying potential. Although when you get to a high enough level, it almost doesn't matter. So this would really be felt in earlier levels of the game. But if a hard mode gets added, I can see this feature coming in handy. So let's hope that comes to fruition. One of my most hated things as a warrior weapon main is that giant, ugly dragon sword. Now, it's the best sword in the game, so sadly, if you want the best stats, that's the only one you can use. But my favorite sword as of now is actually the very first greatsword you get. I love basic weapons, and this one just stands out to me as my favorite, because it has everything I want in a weapon. A basic sword, and it's huge. Pretty much my dream sword. Trophies. This is the system I mentioned at the beginning of the video as being a no-brainer and something I've never thought about. In a game like Dragon's Dogma, where you're constantly fighting enemies of colossal scale and achieving feats far and wide, it makes sense to have something to show for it. And that's where trophies would come in, being either an extremely rare drop or something you can craft. They would help the game in 2 distinct ways as I see it. 1. Give the players something to collect and strive for. I can see collectors wanting to obtain every trophy possible, and would give you a great reason to engage enemies you might usually avoid. 2. Give our houses an actual use outside of storage and sleeping. Our houses feel really pointless right now, but they don't have to be. With trophies, you could adorn the inside of your home with your triumphs and proudly display your favorite monsters or items. A griffin's head mounted on a wall would score you plenty of points with anyone you bring home. You catch my drift. And on top of that, I just realized this would be a good way to add size variation between monsters. Having a large variant and a small variant of a griffin or other monster would add even more depth to the system. Like, yeah, you have a pair of minotaur horns on your wall, but they're puny.
Whap whap.
Look at mine.
Oh, fuck.
And finally, a quality of life system, and that's Vanity Armor. Vanity Armor is just a way to display an armor set without receiving its stats. You can see this system in games like Fallout 76, Destiny 2, and Terraria. They let you style yourself how you want and would maintain the stats of each vocation. Although for pawns, I believe Vanity Armor wouldn't be a good thing, since they need to remain distinct on the road so you can easily recruit the right vocation of pawn without talking to them. And that was the last system I think Dragon's Dogma 2 needs. This was just my opinion though, and I can see someone else having a completely different list. But I think mine makes sense for what I want out of the game. But what do you think? Can you see these improving the game, and would you be happy if we got any of these added? The comments are always open for discussion, so let's talk about it. And with that, I want to say
Bye-bye.
oh, that should be my pizza! Finally! Hey, just on time too, the video just concluded. Anyways, I'm super hungry. I'm gonna go get that right now. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the pizza! Hey, do I know you? You look really familiar somehow. Nah, I guess I don't know anyone with a mustache. I must be mistaken. Sorry. Have a good night. Man, that guy looks really familiar. No way. Was it? It can't be. No. No, I have to go. Bye, everyone.